One, wait. Okay, we're live.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. For joining us underneath deTours on our ISO wine tour of Bickley Valley. Check out this driveway. Look at this. Because we're on the side of a hill, we kind of expect those sort of driveways. But happy days. This used to be gravel. And Jim and Audrey, you can see right in front of us. They've bitumised for us. Isn't that brilliant? So this is their drive-through initiative. Let's jump out and have a yarn. Oh, there's Willow the dog. Bless him. It's very exciting, the drive-through. What a wonderful idea. Hello.
Hi, Monique.
Hello.
Here's your friend. Say hello.
Good.
Normally your bus is full when you come here.
It is full.
Yes.
Well done you for saying that too.
Yeah.
Didn't pay him at all to say that. Not at all. So good to see you guys.
Oh, good to see you too. Stand by for us.
It is, it's beautiful. And you know what was really so cute? I was supposed to text them to say we're on the way, we're a tiny bit late. However, as we drove around the hill, it's not a mountain, is it? It's a hill.
Yeah, call it hill.
Yeah, a hill. We looked over and we saw Audrey. She was standing out on the balcony and she was waving at us.
I wonder
How's
if you
that?
see me.
Yes, we did. That's like the bush telegraph, I think they call it, don't they?
It's how you text message in Kalamunda.
Exactly.
Or smoke signals.
Yeah, exactly. So, we are here at the drive-through that you've created. This is amazing. How is it going? How are you finding people? Are they ringing you or are they rocking up?
Oh, a bit of both, but yeah.
But mostly rocking up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Drive, do they open their window and order that? Do you have to go through their window? Like, oh,
Most people, they can drive up to the bar here. They can either look at the board or I can give them tasting notes, and I can of course tell them something about the wine, because of course we can't do any tasting.
well, that's exactly
but I can
right.
tell them how the wine is.
Beautiful.
Then they order the wine. We put it on the back seat. We pop the machine through the window, and there's no contact
Nice
at all.
and safe, isn't
And
it?
they drive out with 6 bottles of wine.
And now that it's changed, obviously, before you went from 3 bottles and then it went to 6 and then
Yeah.
changed. So that's a bit helpful
so now
for you.
restrictions are lifted.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So that's
Helps us a lot.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about the wine soon, but when we come here for lunch and it's fabulous. And we sit in here and the view is schmicko. It's Instagrammable, I reckon. So take us inside. Yeah, absolutely. So Audrey, come over here and tell us, we're normally seated here, glass of wine in hand, and you bring out these lovely meals, don't you? So explain what you offer here for lunch.
Well, our menu is quite a small menu, very tasty. It's a tapas style. We have sort of dishes which have a Spanish influence, some Middle Eastern, and good old Aussie burgers as well.
Little mini burgers.
Yeah, mini burgers. We also do some really delicious platters with Australian artisanal cheeses and also some European ones.
And you cater for weirdos like me with all the dietary requirements there possibly can be.
Most
So they're
people
so
we can cater
flexible.
for. We do our best.
You do. And it's so colourful and delicious. And what's so great is constantly plates are coming out all the time and there's so much variety. It's just delicious. So Carmen's showing everyone this view. This is like the worst view ever, Jim and Audrey. Why did you choose here?
I know, it's hard to get used to.
It's the worst.
But I mean, it could be somewhere in the south of France or Tuscany. That's how I describe it.
It does remind me of Tuscany. I don't know if
Especially
anyone
now
has
with
been
the-
to Tuscany, but
Yep.
I get that sort of feel here. So how did you get this property? Did you put the vines in? Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so the vineyard was put in 1993, so 27 years ago. So the vines are really well established. So we, in 2011, so this is about 9 years ago, we had a property about 10 minutes away from here.
Yeah,
Because this is my retirement job.
Oh,
So,
see how many people is that, Carmen? Is that 3 retirees?
I think that's 4 from 4.
Everyone's retiring.
Initially I was thinking about maybe I should become a winemaker, but that didn't pay for the mortgage, that didn't work out. So when we lived over there, this came up for sale and we bought it. we pretty much swapped probably over there for vineyard. And then I did a little bit of viticulture, went to uni, did a couple of units for viticulture. And so I look after the vines.
And how many acres of vines have you got?
So I've got 7.5 acres on the vine.
7.5.
So when we bought the property, there was only 3 varieties. So we had Merlot, Shiraz and Plume White. So we obviously needed a white as well. So initially we bought some grapes in, but we want all the wines to come from our vineyard. Now vineyard, for this area, vineyard is one of the largest ones. Probably produces most of the fruit. So there's no point for us buying grapes in to make.
Because you've got it all here.
Yes. So now we started off with 3 varieties. Now we've got 8 varieties.
So it goes right up the back there, doesn't it?
Up to the tree line.
Yeah, all the way up to the tree
Wowzers!
line there.
That's where the wines are.
So Darren's saying they're opening a bottle of 13 bottle of giggles.
Oh,
Yes.
that'd be damn
So
short,
I'll,
would it be?
Oh, are they pals? Did you tell them to message you?
No, I just figured out it might be Darren.
Yeah, nice. And what was it they had?
Just
13 bottle of giggles.
Yeah.
Of giggles,
So
is
we'll,
that what he calls it?
We'll talk a bit about the sparkling in a
Yeah,
minute.
we will do.
So, but what our signature wine is actually Verdejo, which is a Spanish grape variety. A lot of people tend to mix it up with Verdelho, but it's a different grape. It comes from Spain, from the Rueda area, which is northeast of Madrid. So those grapes, because when we wanted white wine, we wanted something different. A lot of you'll probably find out through the day. There's a lot of different varieties in the area. The area is not so doesn't have a signature variety, but the good thing about this area is there's so many different varieties, and that's what people like.
They do. There's
we
constantly
wanted-
something
yeah.
new, and I think, what's that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did a bit of research. We came up with this Verdejo. Spanish climate is very similar to our climate. So we found out that we could purchase some buds, Verdejo buds from down south. Those people imported the buds from Spain. They had to get it through quarantine, got it into the country, and we bought some buds from them, had to sign all these contracts and to pass it on.
Wow.
And then we grafted it down at the bottom there where you see the little tree there with the beds.
Oh, yes.
And it's
Gorgeous.
doing really well.
And speaking about that, though, that tree, when we were here last week doing a bit of a recce,
That's right.
there was a couple sitting there, or there was it mother-daughter or husband?
2
wife?
friends.
Two friends. There
having
you go.
a birthday lunch.
Isn't that a gorgeous
Yeah.
idea, though?
But we had last weekend, the day after that, we had a really sweet couple who had a marriage proposal down there.
Under the
So
tree.
that was really lovely. Yeah.
Romantic.
She said yes.
So how can people organise something like that to go
Just
down
give us a
there?
call. We'll do our best to make it happen.
Wonderful. Can they get wine
Yes, of course.
from
yes.
here?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
they have takeaway wine. They can bring their own picnic.
Bring
and
their own
they
picnic,
just let us know beforehand so we can
What
reserve
a
it.
good little spot. So did they say yes?
They said yes.
It would have been a sad story, wouldn't it?
Did a good job of choosing the ring too. It was lovely.
Oh, very
yeah,
good.
it did.
So I remember you also saying that some of the grapes other winemakers will buy off you too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So our vineyard produces about between 25 and 30 tons of grape. We use probably about 6 or 7 grapes for our wines. So with the other 20 odd grapes, we sell off. Our winemakers. So I'll talk a little bit about our winemakers in a minute, but they buy some of our grapes. Some of the other vineyards buy some of the grapes, and we get the old Italian that makes his own wine that buys a little bit of grapes.
Fantastic.
So we get rid of most of our grapes, about 90%.
It's a good sense of community up here,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's
I
right.
really think that.
I mean, that's a good thing about the winemakers. We have a very good relationship. So we use, Matt that you've seen earlier today, and after this you're going to Joss.
Yes.
So for us, it's no point to make our own wine. Yeah, I'm not a winemaker. I do a bit of hobby winemaking, but I don't want to sell it to customers. So we've got some brilliant winemakers just 5 minutes from here.
And they're both
that's
so
5
very
minutes,
different, aren't they?
And they're very different.
Yeah.
So we're actually lucky to have a couple of couple of winemakers because you know you can work
Well, 3 in
differently.
fact.
No, but for our wines,
Yeah.
The bookends are drinking your beautiful rosé.
A big pardon?
The bookends.
Oh,
yes,
the bookends, yeah.
Oh, so
Those
really
were the
nice.
girls having the birthday lunch.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed it.
And someone has asked, how long have you been making wine for, and did you make it before you came to Australia?
No, so I don't make the wine. That's what I was talking about earlier. So I grow the grapes. Before I came to Australia, I had nothing to do with wine.
You drank it though?
Except
I drank,
drink it
yeah,
and love it.
exactly. So except drinking all the European wines is. So now not about wine itself, not about making it or growing it, but now I've been doing this for 9 years, and I did some courses at university as well, and you get a lot of help from people in the area. You know, Haynolds is another vineyard that gives a lot of advice.
We're heading to them later on
Yeah.
too. So shall we go and talk to the wine? But check out Willow the dog here.
The rug.
Every time we come, the groups, she, isn't it? She.
Yeah.
Will lie down in the cellar door, take up most of the room, be relaxed, and everyone always has a yarn.
Yeah.
So beautiful little dog. So shall we go and find out about your wines, particularly about this award-winning wine there?
Sparkling.
So bizarre not going into the cellar door, which is in there. It's fabulous. Such a lovely
No,
little
it's
spot,
still
isn't
a
it?
bit strange feeling being empty.
I need some of this, so that's good. Get some more of that.
Okay, so these are the wines we currently have. So we've got 2 sparklings, we've got sparkling white, sparkling rosé. Then we've got 1 white, which is a Viognier. So the one missing here is the Verdejo.
That you were talking about
Spanish
earlier.
Verdejo.
Yeah.
But that's currently sitting in the tank, so it might fill.
So we might get to see them.
So you might get to see it today.
Yeah.
So that's going to be bottled in a few weeks' time, and then we'll probably release it end of May, early June.
So stay tuned, folks, for that one.
Stay tuned, definitely.
Absolutely.
Nigel and Louise are drinking the sparkling rosé.
Yeah, I knew that.
Cheers, guys.
And cheers, and they are very good.
And I
customers.
tried your sparkling a few days ago, and it's sensational.
That was award winner, wasn't it?
It was. So in the 2018 wine show, we this sparkling won the award for the best sparkling per hit.
Well done,
And
folks.
I'll pour you a little bit in a minute.
That could be for you because we can't have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You get to, see, they get to taste all the lovely things. Oh, wow. We can have it later, can't we?
Yes, you can.
What's your favourite? Do you have a favourite?
Not really. I like them all.
I know
I guess at the
owners don't
moment-
like me asking that question, but I always like to see if they actually do have a favourite.
Yeah, at the moment I head for the sparkling rosé,
Yeah.
and then later I might switch to the Reserve Shiraz or the Pinot, which we are currently almost out of.
Wow. So
Until
getting
the
quick
end
if
of
you
the
want
year.
Pinot, folks. Getting quick. Alrighty.
Sparkling, yeah, award-winning sparkling. So a good sparkling needs to be at least on lease for a number of years, and probably Dan or Matt would have spoken about that. So after you make the normal wine, you put inject yeast back into the bottle, and then you lie it down. The longer it lies down, the better the sparkling gets. You know, the yeast gets integrated, the bubbles get finer, and the sparkling gets creamier. So because we only release about 100 bottles every few months, all the other bottles are still lying down with the yeast. So this has been discovered this week. So it's been on yeast for 7 years.
Wow.
So if I pour it,
Cheers!
cheers, you can see the bubbles, they'll disappear, like the foam, the frost disappears fairly quickly, but you can see the bubbles are really fine. You know, there's still
Lots of
plenty
them.
of bubbles there, but they're really fine. And you get a nice sort of yeasty, little bit of yeast, and it's a little bit appley, a little bit citrusy. It's a very dry style of sparkling. So if you'd like a dry sparkling, this is a very good sparkling.
Sounds like me, actually.
And
So good, Karma. You love it?
Yeah, such a fine bubble. It's sensationally good. It exceeded my expectations.
Wonderful.
so that's the whites in the rosé. And then on the reds, like Audrey mentioned, our Pinot is almost sold out. We have a little bit of Pinot left. But
Nigel would like to order 6 bottles of the Pinot, thank you.
Write it down,
Okay.
Audrey.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is that Nigel can have it because he's part of our wine club. So what we do is when the wine gets older and we're starting to get low on the numbers, we make the release, we take it off general sale, but we still make it available for a wine club member.
Ah,
So
so
Nigel
be a
and
member,
Louise,
folks. Get
being part of
make
the
sure.
wine
How do
club,
they do that?
so they can contact us. They can go through our website, or they can contact us by sending us an email or giving us a call. Then we've got a form that they can fill out,
So easy peasy.
and there's 20% discount.
20%
So-
discount.
So
Hello.
that now the wine club actually works really well, and it's also getting us through a difficult period like
That's
now.
it.
Because the wine club members still buying wine from us, so it's really
Good on you, wine club
Yeah.
members. Well done.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about.
So that was the Pinot. Then
Yes.
we have a Merlot. Then we have one that we're releasing, so we're not mentioning what it is yet. We put a little promo video on Facebook
Oh,
a couple
The
of days
camera's
ago.
on it.
And,
The camera's
so
on it.
The camera can,
You've seen it
so
first, folks.
So that'll be released next weekend.
Secret squirrels.
Yeah, secret
then,
squirrels. Don't
other-
tell anyone.
Other feature wine is the Reserve Shiraz, which I'll talk a little bit about. And we have a Durif as well. So Durif is one of those other grapes, and I think Josh will talk about it a little bit more.
Yes, they
So I
will.
won't go into many details, but yeah, that's different. So Josh does Night Field do a Durif, Fair Blossom, and we
Yes.
do a Durif. It's your nice wine, but yeah, I'll talk about the Reserve Shiraz, and that's so the Reserve Shiraz is a bit of an example how we work with our winemakers, because we have 2 winemakers, but they work sort of under our direction. So we work with the winemaker on the style of wine we want to make, because the grapes, the grapes are the important part of the wine, of course, because you can't make good wine from bad grapes. So the grapes need to be good. Our grapes are very good. So then we talk to the winemaker the style of wine we want to make.
So you tell them
Either-
what you want.
Yeah, so in this case with the Reserve Shiraz, because 2018 was such a good year for the fruit,
Yeah.
and we didn't sell all our fruit. So I went to Matt and I said I want to use more fruit for the same volume of wine. So what Matt did, he instead of using a ton of fruit, we used 1.5 tons of fruit, and then he let some of the juice run away, so you get a much more of a concentrated wine on the skins. So and that's really, you can really taste it because it got a really full juicy flavor. And then we also decided to switch from American oak to French oak. American oak gives a bit more of a sweeter vanilla character. The French oak is a bit more savory. So, and then we decided to, instead of having it for 9 months on oak, have it for 18 months on oak. So it's really,
Quite a difference.
Tannins are really soft. Really,
And the
this is-
response for that, people loving
Oh,
it.
this is now our best-selling wine.
Really?
Yeah, it's definitely our best. Our Pinot used to be our best-selling wine. That's now switched to the Reserve Shiraz.
My goodness.
It's
I
got this
reckon.
real sort of dark plum, a little bit of spice, a little bit of chocolate, and it's really full in flavor. So it's I can pour a little bit. So you
Yeah,
can-
let's have a little. Well, I can smell it from a distance. Who sang that song? Is that Barbara Streisand?
So
No,
I think that's got a
Bette Midler.
beautiful
Bette Midler.
colour,
Bette Midler. I was getting that wrong.
ruby dark color.
Oh, look at the
And-
colour on that.
Like all our wines, and you find probably the wines in this area because we're in the hills, so the temperature is a little bit very different to the Swan Valley. So all the wines here are very fruit driven, and you can taste the fruit in all the wines, in our wines, and in all the wines in this area as well, and this one in particular.
It's confirmed as Bette Midler.
Oh, thank you for that. Appreciate it. From a distance.
So yes.
Well, thank you so much
Yes, thank you.
for joining us for our little
organising all
chat
this.
today. So great to see how, because I get that question a lot. How does an owner with fabulous grapes ask and get a direct a winemaker to make a wine? So that was really, really interesting. So we're actually
expert advice from them as well.
So it's a bit like a collaboration.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, good. So we're actually going to head on over. We're going to go to Myersfield next. I hope you're ready for us, guys. So,
Get one.
Just one, yes.
what's going on here?
Yeah, well, we'll need to
Wowzers.
thank you somehow for your wonderful organizer for this tour. And
Oh,
it's a
thank you, Jim.
Great exposure to the Bickley Valley and to the Coast Hills.
Oh,
So the least we can do is give you a couple of bottles of wine. So,
oh, thank you.
no, thank you.
Totally blessed.
And,
Well, thank you very much. We'll see you shortly.
We'll see you
And
again.
loving the
with a full
drive-through. Love it. Make sure you come through the drive-through. Then this is unique, I think. All right, guys. We'll chat to you shortly. Cheers.
Bye, mate.